Hi there guys, Neil at Italia Autos here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we have this Alfa Romeo GT V6 that a customer only bought on Monday. So he's bought it to me to give it a check over and a service. So let's have a look around it and see whether it's worth the money you pay for it. And to start with, I must say what an absolutely beautiful colour blue this is. It's got like a little bit of purple in it and a nice little metallic fleck to it. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, let's start with the one thing I noticed straight away was how terrible these alloy wheels are. I honestly think that these are probably beyond an economical repair because of the amount of corrosion on them and that damage there. I mean, I wouldn't get them powder coated because all this corrosion is going to come through the powder coat and it's going to look absolutely horrible. So it's an expensive job of getting these prepped, filled, sanded and painted. The next thing I've noticed, it's got these monstrosities on the side. I don't think anybody here is going to like those because they just don't suit the design of the car. They just stick out by half a mile. So I'd imagine the customer will want to remove those, but I could be wrong. So you can't really see them that much because it's quite dark this morning in the unit. A little bit of sills crushed there. I will check that out more on the ramp. I think it's had a bit of paintwork somewhere because if you see the difference in colours between that sill and that sill. Again, when it's up in the air, I will check it a little bit more. This door seal's not fitting right. The window's fitting okay. A few marks around the door handle. People have scratched it with the rings and stuff. Again, another terrible looking alloy wheel. I mean, look at all that corrosion. That's been going on for more than a few years, that has. It's got parking sensors at the rear. A crack in the rear light, but I can't imagine they're too expensive to replace nowadays. It's still got the badges on the back. It's got a Scorpion exhaust. Again, more corrosion on the wheels. There's another look at those side stripes there, look. I'll check the sills better when it's up in the air because you can't really see anything on the ground. And the final alloy wheel, I mean, look at that curb there, that is atrocious. So yeah, I think the best advice for the customer on that one is to source another set of alloy wheels. Something ain't going on right there either because that bumper isn't fitting right at all. So a few repairs to do there, but not many. It shouldn't be too expensive other than find another set of alloy wheels. So let's have a look on the inside and see what she sounds like as well. It's got red interior. I'm not so sure about the colour match. What do you guys think? I mean, I could live with it, but does it match aesthetically? Yeah, let your comment below. It's got the sat-nav fitted to it, which is absolutely, totally and utterly outdated nowadays. Oh, we had a warning light free. Yes, we are. It's done 59,000 miles almost, so it's actually a low mileage car. So those alloy wheels are in a really bad way for what's essentially a 60,000 mile car. Ashtray's not broken. I found the locking wheel nut key. We'll put that there. Everything seems okay, nice and clean. Scratches on the door card, but you always get that. So realistically, it's not that bad on the inside. I can't really pick any faults with it. So let's hear what she sounds like. Sounds pretty smooth. Yeah, the idle's fairly smooth. Because it's got the performance exhaust on it, you can't quite hear the engine note that well. What I'm doing, I'm just listening for like a smooth, flat idle so you can hear all the spark plugs working as they should do. And that seems pretty good. Because the customer has complained of an engine warning light on at idle. So I'm going to be reading the codes on that once I've done the service to see what's going on with it. So let's get it on the ramp. We'll have a look underneath the engine bay, get it up in the air, check those seals out and see if there's any rust underneath it. Okay, right from the off, doesn't look too bad. Spotted a few things straight away with it. Missing the battery cover. It's got some tape around the intake pipe. A little bit of rust on the chrome pipes, but the majority of that should clean up with some pitting left behind. Top engine mount I noticed earlier is deteriorated to the point where that needs replacing. Do with a little bit of tidying up, so like you got some rust here and these have been painted badly. But other than that, everything's present, and it is missing the front cover for here. Everything else looks okay. Let's check the fluids. Power steering fluid is a little low, so we'll top that up as a part of the service. Yeah, you can see a little crack there, look. So it's probably cracks a lot more around there, but you can get aftermarket ones of those, so that's nothing to worry about. Not much rust on the front slam panel. Not much rust on the chassis legs. The suspension turrets even. Right, just connecting to the engine ECU after the service, just to see if there's any fault codes on there from that engine warning light. That's apparently been coming on intermittently. Ignition failures on 1, 2, 3. So that is the rear bank. As the fault code is blue, they're not currently there, as we know. So that's something for us to look into. At least we know where the problem is on the rear bank. And I bet I know what's causing that. If you remember at the beginning of the video when we looked underneath the engine bay, you saw that engine mount. I reckon because that engine mount's gone, the engine is moving backwards and forwards like that, and I reckon it's probably pulling on some wires that it shouldn't do. So we'll have to investigate that another time and see if that's causing it. So far, so good. No horrors to report. Let's get it up in the air a little bit more. We'll check the suspension and have a look at those seals, see how bad they are. All right, I'm going to start here because this is the bit that was concerning me, is that is almost a centimetre further back than it needs to be. Has it had a bit of a front impact? Let's try and check the line. The line on this bumper is, you know, it's a little bit far back, but it's not too bad. It's got some scratches there. Yes, if you look at the gap here, how it's slightly proud of the headlight, and here it's not proud, so that's had a front impact. That has caused this to not fit correctly. It's had some paint work done in it as well. You can see that dry spot along the edge there. In fact, yeah, this has been accident repaired. So yes, my initial conclusion is this has had a front impact, and it's also been impacted here as well. So the customer's not probably going to be happy with that, because I bet he didn't know about it. You can see what I've spotted here, as well as that dry spot. Look how wavy it is with all that filler. So it's not even done a very good job of the filler work. I know filler work isn't easy to do. I hate doing it, especially complex shapes like that. But yeah, you can feel the wave in it when you wave your hand along it. So yeah, it's going to want another wing on it to make it perfect. So that explains as to why the front bumper doesn't fit right. And you can see all the filler underneath the wing there, look. Front suspension looks okay. Front brakes. We'll want pads soon at the front. I'll get it up some more before I look at the seal. Rear pads are okay. From what I can see, this side of the disc a little bit scored, but they're okay. Rear spring is all in one piece, and I can't see too much rust at the bottom, but there is some. Some more damage to that rear bumper there. A little bit of a scrape down there. More rust to this shocker. I'd probably say I'd get these changed sooner rather than later, because you just can't see how much damage, how much rust even, is on the inside. The spring's okay. Right, so let's get it up some more and check these sills. Right, got a little bit of rust coming through on the edge of the wing there. There's a dent there, no visible rust. You can see more signs of accident damage. And a big dent at the back here. And more scrapage. So yeah, that has had filler in it as well. Can you see that big chunk of filler there? So this sill is crushed here, a little bit of rust. And some rust coming through here. Again, a little bit more scrapage, nothing major on this side, and crushed again on that side there, which is the common spot for it, where people don't lift the arms enough and it crushes the sills. So let's start at the back now. That's the Scorpion exhaust. It is just a back box. That is rusting away there. It won't be long until we get some holes in that there. Rust on the floor pan looks pretty good so far. A little bit there to sort out, but the sills themselves aren't bad at all. And again, a little bit of rust coming through there, but that is pretty much it until you come to the front of the sills there. Again, that'll want repairing. It's going to want some wax oil inside the sills, because that's going to be rusting from both sides. And a little bit of damage there. Let's have a look at the bottom of the engine. A little bit of an oil leak from somewhere. I'd imagine that's coming from the rocker covers, because I can't see it coming from anywhere lower. Crank seal's leaking, because you can see no oil leaks higher up the engine. It's just coming from the bottom of the engine all the way around. It is coming a bit higher at the back, so it could be running down from the back. And one other thing I've just spotted was a drop of coolant on the bottom of that pipe there, and if you follow it back up, you can see it's leaking from that connector there, or what is still, because that's still leaking, I think. That's dried, but it's recently dried. So we'll try and have a look at that and see what's causing that leak. No leaking from the original oil cooler. CV boots are okay on this side. And this side. I'll check all the suspension bushes off camera. Let's have a look at the rear now. They're not bent, that's a good thing. I wasn't expecting them on this side especially to be bent from accident damage, but they're okay. They've not been replaced from what I can tell either. Just noticed this massive crack in the bottom of the bumper as well. I mean, it can be repaired, but we can just cable tie that and keep that up out the way there. To be honest, it's not causing any issues. So right, unfortunately we have found some quite nasty hidden accident damage, and I'm standing here talking to you now and I've just seen the state of the lower front bumper, so let me show you that. I mean, look at the texture on that paintwork there. It literally goes all the way around the car. So, I hate to say it, but I'm going to ask the customer if it's okay for me to put in the video how much he's paid for it. Yes, it's a low mileage car. Yes, it may have had the cam belt done, but he's got some money to spend to get that bodywork right. I will ask him when he comes back, and I'll put some comments below whether he knew about the accident damage before he bought it, or some of these repairs. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy about that. But right, so there we go. I'm going to get on and service this. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.